President Trump vowing to bring down prescription drug prices on Friday. The president has been openly critical about high drug prices in the past, but his speech Friday focused less on his populist message and more on working on fixing the problem within the pharmaceutical industry itself. So let's bring in our fair and balanced political panel. Eric Beach is the chairman of Great America PAC, and David Brown is a Democratic strategist. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. I very much appreciate it.
Of course.
All right, Eric, I want to start with you. Success or not a success? Because when we hear about the reaction from some of these drug companies, these big farms, they're not really up in arms. So I'm wondering if this is really a success here.
Well, look, I think you have to give the president a great amount of respect for tackling an issue that's probably not in the best strategy for Republicans. He really just could let the healthcare industry die and go away, especially when we're repealing some of the mandate from Obamacare. But what he's trying to do, he's trying to lower the drug prices for seniors. He wants to make other countries pay a little bit more. And also, we have among the highest drug costs in the entire country. So I think there are some things that he campaigned on that he wishes to deliver. But I think he also realizes he needs to work with pharma to make those changes occur. Just like he does when he's deal making, he needs to make sure he's attacking this problem inside out, and I think that's what he's doing.
All right, David, I want to get your take on it, because one of the things Eric said was just to sort of let it die, let it work itself out. But would that behoove who?
Yeah, Elizabeth, look, I think yesterday's announcement is pretty simple in terms of who it benefits. It benefits pharmaceutical companies at the expense of seniors. And, the president said very, very clearly and repeatedly on the campaign trail that he wanted Medicare to be allowed to negotiate directly with the pharmaceutical industry to lower drug prices. Yesterday's announcement, not only did he not announce that, but it was a betrayal of that promise. And in so doing, he really broke faith, I think, with America's seniors.
All right, Eric, I want to get your reaction, then I want to move on.
Well, we tried to let Congress attack the problem, didn't we? And we couldn't get it passed. So, I think what the president's trying to do is he's trying to figure out a way to work on real reforms that he campaigned on. And we tried to do it, through the congressional body. Hopefully this is something that both Republicans and Democrats can get behind. There seems to be some goodwill on both sides here.
All right, David, I sort of want to take more of a macro view and just take a look at some of the moves that the president has made. He's been pretty remarkably consistent on attempting at least almost all of his campaign promises, from repealing Obamacare. Yes, he may not have been able to get that through Congress, but obviously he rolled back the mandate. We could talk about building a wall, again, not getting everything that he wanted. We could talk about suspending immigration from terror-prone countries. All of these things that you really can't fault him for following through on the promises that he made. So I'm curious as to your take, as 18 months into this administration. You're probably going to be critical of that, but he's been following through on these promises.
Well, thanks for leading with the big reveal there, Elizabeth. Look, I agree with you that he talks a very big game and a very effective game, and I think this president has always been his own best messenger, although sometimes we don't fully understand the messaging. But, taking a step back, I think the core promise of his campaign to people who voted for him is that he was going to look after the little guy, the person who felt left behind by a changing economy. And, I have to ask, for voters who voted for Donald Trump, how do you feel when the tax cut that he pushed through, his tax cut, disproportionately benefits the richest 1% of the country at your expense? And even, you mentioned the wall. He says repeatedly, he still says that Mexico is going to pay for this wall. Well, he had a chance to fund the wall in the omnibus package that he pushed through along with Republican members in the House and the Senate. And yet he refused to fund the wall. He failed to fund the wall. There is no funding for the wall, and Mexico is not going to pay. So I do think while he talks a good game, there's a consistent pattern here of Donald Trump saying one thing and then failing to deliver.
Okay, Eric, you obviously have two places you can respond there, taxes and the wall.
No, results matter. This president has had enormous and great results. He's declined all of the Obama regulations that have really been hampering all of the small businesses around the country. The trade tax wasn't very popular. Tariff tax wasn't very popular, even among some of the Republicans. But the market doesn't lie. And so I think what he's looking at are America First policies. And just like the health care proposal that he's talking about from yesterday and the prescription drugs, he's not afraid to tackle problems that he talked about during the campaign. He doesn't care whether it's the Republican or best for the Democrats going into the midterm elections. He was there to try to bring on some real reforms, and you got to respect the president in terms of his agenda, what he's doing. And lastly, you talk about building the wall, and you talk about illegal immigration. This is a president that has, we have things that are in the courts right now talking about immigration in terms of the Obama executive orders. He's doing all he can to make sure that he produces on what he ran on.
All right, Eric, David, unfortunately, we are out of town. But, gentlemen, I hope that we can have you back and continue the discussion. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Elizabeth.